I remember in first grade, I was tested for the gifted program, and I was loving the fact that my teacher saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So I took the test, and over the next few weeks, I watched and I saw that I wasn't with the other kids that were in the program, that I wasn't given extra work or challenges. And I realized that I didn't meet the requirements for the gifted program. And I was disappointed. And to me, that meant I wasn't smart. And over the years, that feeling lingered with me that I just wasn't smart, especially when I made not so smart choices. I felt a lot of the times lost and unworthy and shame and guilt. And then I turned to alcohol at an early age. I look forward to weekends so that I can drink and ease that uncomfortableness that I felt around my peers. And then, I'd also make some more not so smart decisions, which left me feeling lost and unworthy and shame and guilt. And as I grew older, alcohol became more of an escape from reality. Up until about 12 years ago, one Friday night in December, the guy I liked told me that he didn't want to be with me. And earlier that day, my daughter left to be with her father for a Christmas vacation. And it was a horrible 2 weeks leading up to that because divorce does that sometimes. And I felt so alone. I started to drink a lot. And not long after that, I left, drove home on a busy Friday night. My name is Teresa Phelps. I'm a life coach and financial educator. And today we'll be talking about feeling comfortable in your own skin. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most comfortable, how comfortable are you being you? From the time in first grade to a few years ago, I would say I was at about a 3. And over the past few years, I've really dug deep, started realizing and understanding the experiences that led me up to that point. And I wanted to share a few things that I've learned along the way, especially for this Women of Impact series. So we'll be talking about 3 things to help you feel comfortable in your own skin. Number 1 is love yourself. Number 2 is know yourself. And number 3 is feed yourself. So number 1, love yourself. Imperfections at all. I hear a lot of women say, yeah, but Teresa, you don't know the decisions I've made. You don't know what I've done. And no, I may not know, but I understand. And it's okay. But how do you love yourself right now? A lot of love can be created through forgiveness. Forgive yourself for not knowing. Forgive yourself for not knowing in those situations what we know now. Now we say we coulda, shoulda, woulda at that time that we didn't know what we had or the resources we needed. And we beat ourselves up so much for things that have happened in the past, for things that we can't change, for doing the best that we knew how at that time. So just take that in for a moment. Forgive yourself for not knowing. Because loving yourself is taking care of yourself. And when we carry a load of shame, guilt, regret, anxiety, and stress for things that we can't change, it definitely makes it hard to move into loving ourselves. But no one will love you like you love yourself. Loving yourself also means being kind to yourself. Talk kindly to yourself like a caring, good, encouraging friend would. So for example, if you are running late in the morning and all you have right there is a chocolate chip cookie to eat, you grab the cookie on your way out and you just eat it. And then those voices start coming a little later, those critical things saying, you shouldn't eat that cookie, right? Way to ruin your diet again. You're so undisciplined, or whatever it is. Think of what your friends would tell you. The few friends or the friends that you have that are encouraging and supportive and caring. I'll be that friend that tells you, hey, was that cookie great? All right, then let's go do 50 jumping jacks. Yeah, you may have another friend that would say, you know what? Maybe if it's hard in the mornings, make some overnight oats or something the night before so that you can just grab and go. So that cookie isn't as appealing. Or maybe somebody else will tell you, you know what? Maybe just wake up a little earlier so that you can make breakfast. And then just move on with your day. think kindly of yourself, forgive yourself for things that happen in life, and learn and grow. So number 2 is know yourself. And this may be like, some of you may say, oh, Teresa, that's a little too much information for me, but it was very eye-opening for me. So knowing my shifts in moods and emotions throughout the month, because there were some days where I was just unstoppable and doing it and taking care of business, and everything was fun and I was happy and laughing. And then one morning I would just wake up mad, like wanting to choke my husband out just for breathing, right? Or somebody would say something that just irked me and just got under my skin. And then I'd feel so bad about it. And I didn't know why. So one day my friend suggested an app called the Period Tracker. And I started tracking my days over probably about 2 or 3 months. And I realized that those hard mornings came about 10 days before my period. And it was in that understanding, in that knowing that I could be kind to myself and be kind to my husband and be kind to those people, right? And give them grace just for being themselves. So it was knowing what my emotions, what those shifts in emotions and feelings were, that helped me understand and be okay with how things were going. So how else can we get to know ourselves? A lot of times when I talk to women, sometimes they don't even know what it is they like or dislike. So here's one thing, or another thing is, how comfortable are you in life? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most comfortable, how comfortable are you? If you're about at a 7, 8, 9, 10, then it's time to start making decisions and doing things that get you down to a 3 or 4. Why? Because it's in the times that we're challenged, in the times that stretch us, will grow us, will help us learn and move forward to do things that we wouldn't normally do, and learn just what our abilities are and who we are as people. So if there are things that you've been wanting to do and you haven't been doing it, like registering for a 5K walk or run, do it. If you have been thinking about volunteering, do it. Or thinking about going into different socials, different meetings, Toastmasters or whatever, but you just feel like you're not ready, just do it. Get outside your comfort zone, because we learn so much more about ourselves when we challenge ourselves than staying comfortable. And here are a few things to ask yourself. This is a really good question to ask yourself to really get to know who you are and what you want. What do I really, really, really want in life? And then give yourself some time to hear the answers, because the answers will come. And then here's another one. What are you really doing to get what you really, really, really want out of life? And if you don't know what you really, really, really want, ask yourself, if I knew what I really, really, really wanted, what would it be? And just give time and give space to get the answers. And here are a few other things to ask yourself. What is it that I value? Is it family? Is it work? Is it money? Is it relationships? What is it? What do I really value? What thoughts and beliefs come up when we face challenges in life? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it stress? If it is, how do you want it to be different? If you want it different. And then, is my behavior showing those around me and myself who I really am? So in other words, are you living your life for yourself, or are you living your life for others? So some of those things will really help you get to know yourself a bit more and understand maybe what next steps you might want to take to get outside your comfort zone, to think about what you really, really, really want in life. So that's number 2, know yourself. Number 3 is feed yourself. Feed yourself emotionally, physically, and spiritually. It's everything that we listen to, what we watch, what we talk about, what we think, who we spend our time with, because we are the sum total of the 5 people who we hang out with daily. So think about the 5 people that you hang out with, and what are their personalities like? What do they talk about? What do they like to eat? What do they like to do? And, when challenges come up, who are they as a person? And they are the sum total of 5 people, because these are all things that are feeding us in one way or another. How do I feed myself emotionally? When we identify our thoughts, our feelings, and emotions, how are we feeding those? Are we just focusing and dwelling on the negative, or are we feeding ourselves something positive? When we have a bad day, how do you respond? Do you just sit and stew and maybe get mad and just let it go? And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes that's what we do need. But when it becomes longer than it should, and you can decide how long is long enough to get support, to get the things that you need in life, what can you be doing instead? Go outside for a walk. Listen to music, uplifting music. Get some support and help. Meditate, have some quiet time, or do something that you really love doing to feed yourself emotionally. So feeding yourself physically, how do we feed ourselves physically? How often are you exercising? What are you actually eating and drinking? Are you getting out into the sun more often than not? What kind of physical boundaries do you have with family and friends, even emotional boundaries that will help us keep a healthy mental state? Are you getting enough rest? How are you nurturing your body? And then there's spiritually, feeding yourself spiritually. So I think this is the most important out of the 3, because I like the saying, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So what fills your cup? What energizes you? What are the things that are you doing to help you grow? What are you grateful for, and how are you showing that? How are you living your purpose, or are you living your purpose at all? How much time do you spend on your dreams, thinking about what you really, really, really want in life? Because it's pretty interesting that, we don't have a lot of time for ourselves, that other things become more important. And we give of ourselves more to everybody else than we do ourselves. So that's number 3, is feed yourself. So one Friday night, about 12 years ago, the guy I liked told me he didn't want to be with me. My daughter just left earlier that day to go to her father's house for Christmas, and it was a horrible 2 weeks before, because divorces tend to do that. And I felt so alone. I started to drink a lot, and I drove home on a busy Friday night. I don't remember how I got home. I don't remember parking. I don't remember going upstairs to my bed. All I remember is the next morning my roommate told me I sideswiped her car while parking. And I didn't believe it until I saw it, and I felt so sick to my stomach. I thought, how did I let it get this far? How did I get so out of control? And in that moment, I was just grateful to God for keeping me safe, and especially keeping those around me safe. The people that I passed on the freeway, on those busy streets. And I knew that I had to start making different decisions, hard decisions. And when I started to move away from alcohol as the solution, I realized there's millions of other things that I could be doing to get through my challenges. And so today I have an 18-year-old daughter, 18 and 5-year-old daughters, a 17-year-old stepson. I've been married for about 10 years, and I have an amazing business to help others. So I want to let you know that no matter what life looks like right now, no matter what challenges you have right now, that everything is working out for your good. Excuse me, if you ask me right now on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable I am in my skin, I would say I'm at about an 8, because there's always room for progress. So I want to thank you for taking time to visit and for joining me today to learn about the things that I've learned about over the years. And when things get difficult, when the challenges seem too overwhelming, I just want you to remember to do 3 things. Number 1 is love yourself. Number 2 is know yourself. And number 3 is feed yourself. So thank you again. And if you need anything, please reach out. I'm always here for you. All right. Take care and God bless.